Please welcome Meir Weinstein of the JDL for all the great work he does.
Thank you, Mary Lou. How do you fix this mic? Thanks, Mary Lou. Thanks, Mark. An amazing program you're putting together. I'm just going to be very brief because there's other speakers that have a lot of information to share with you, but I would like to say it says in the Torah that God spoke to Avram and he said, I will bless them that bless thee and curse them that curse thee. And I see Christians who come out to support Israel and take a stand, and sometimes it's very difficult to take that stand. But you take a stand, and I sincerely believe you're going to be blessed. You absolutely will be blessed. And it's very inspiring to come to a church and speak about Israel. So thank you very much for coming out. The purpose of the Jewish Defense League is to confront and expose threats to the Jewish people, threats to Israel. And we have a lot of threats that we face. Just the other day in France, there was the murder of 3 Jewish children and a rabbi. Now, at first, the media tried to say that this murderous act was carried out by a white supremacist. And so I received an email and a phone call from RT News, Russian television. They wanted to have a debate, and the debate was scheduled for tomorrow. They were arranging for me to be in a TV studio in Toronto, beamed across the ocean, and 2 other individuals who I'm not sure who they are, to also be part of the debate. And the topic was going to be far-right parties in Europe. Now, I would assume, I didn't get that much information from the host of the program, but I would assume that the purpose of the call to me is because we have invited various personalities from what would be considered far-right political parties in Europe. Just about a month ago, we had Paul Weston from the British Freedom Party of England. He spoke in Toronto. We hosted the event. We had a couple years ago a support rally for Geert Wilders. Last year, we had a support rally for Tommy Robinson from the English Defense League, who was facing serious charges, and thank God they were dropped. We've been quite active and quite involved with European organizations that I believe are on the same page with us in fighting this pernicious evil, what has been termed as radical Islam or militant Islam. And so I received a follow-up email today from RT News saying that they could not locate a television studio in Toronto for the program tomorrow, and they're canceling the program that was going to be tomorrow. I'm not so sure if it had anything to do with the news that came out worldwide today that the person responsible for the murders is an Islamic militant, a follower of Osama bin Laden, someone who boasted about being involved with the Al-Qaeda. Now, we have in Canada various organizations that support the Muslim Brotherhood, and again, what's termed as radical Islam. And I'm not so certain if we're really even using the correct term, because when I look at Egypt, the Muslim Brotherhood who's taking power, and that feeling of support for the Muslim Brotherhood across the Middle East, and in Iran, the Ayatollahs ruling Iran, it seems to me that that is the definition of Islam. And so we have in Canada various organizations that wholeheartedly endorse the Muslim Brotherhood. Not a word, not a negative word from them when the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood last year heads a rally of 1 million people in Cairo and praises Hitler and says the mission of Muslims today is to kill the Jews. And just a couple months ago, the Mufti of Jerusalem spoke at a rally in Ramallah for the PA, the moderate PA, so-called, and said it is the duty of every Muslim to kill Jews. We take those threats quite seriously, and we don't hear any negative reaction from the Islamic community in Canada. That community is growing. That community is active. One of their leaders, the leader of the Islamic Society of York Region, spoke recently at McMaster University, and he's warned if Iran is attacked, then he could understand that there's going to be attacks on Jews and supporters of Israel in Canada. And so we take these threats very seriously. We train as many people as we can in our community, and we invite our friends to undergo training as well. On the other hand, people who do not involve themselves or don't feel that they have the capability to endure such physical training for security purposes, we encourage you to attend our rallies, to speak out and speak the truth. We're living in very interesting times. We've witnessed the rebirth of the state of Israel, of the Jewish people coming back to our land. This is a modern day miracle. We're seeing more and more miracles right in front of our eyes. Iran is threatening to cut off the flow of oil to the world by intercepting vessels in the Straits of Hormuz. Israel is discovering oil and natural gas, and reports have it that they're going to be, in the next few years, a major oil producer. We're witnessing unbelievable miracles. And so I encourage you, keep the faith. Speak the truth. Never back down. The enemy tries to instill fear in you, but never back down. Although we see the numbers there. I mean, the Jewish people, after all, we have approximately 13 million Jews in the entire world, and we're facing an Islamic world of approximately 1.3 billion. And we're not intimidated. We have the bruises to show for it. We have the history to show for it. We stand up. We do the best we can, and we're succeeding. I encourage everyone, stand up. Raise your voice. One more thing. On March 30th, there has been an announcement that has come out of Iran that there is going to be a worldwide, they're calling it a global march to Jerusalem. They're talking about close to 1 million people to converge on the borders of Israel. They want to try to take over Jerusalem by force. Now, that's not going to happen. But they're also calling for their supporters to gather in front of embassies and consulates worldwide, Israeli embassies and Israeli consulates worldwide, and denounce Israel and call for the destruction of Israel. We are going to be outside the Israeli consulate, 180 Bloor Street West in Toronto, March 30th, from 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 7 o'clock at night. That's on a Friday. If you could make it, join us. There's going to be similar rallies, counter-protests as well in Montreal. We're in touch with groups there to do the same. We're in touch with groups in London, England, to do the same in front of the embassy. And we're in touch with other European groups, and hopefully we'll see the same result. I encourage you, if you could make it, please come out, take a stand. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Thank you.